Maria. She's gorgeous. So, I mean, as far as, the initial attraction, I is not as proud as I am. I would say physically attraction, but she's a brilliant singer. She's a wonderful person. But yeah, she's hot. So that worked out really well. Our first date together. I think technically our first date together was I took her out to Miami Whitewater, and we ate cheese and drank wine and played music and sang and talked, and then we ended up talking in her parents' driveway for a good hour or so before I dropped her off for the night. Who said I love you first? I think Maria said it first. I wrote it first, though, on a card on Christmas when she had the apartment over on Victor in Clifton. And that was like 6 or 7 months into us dating. Well, I would say my best physical feature through Maria's eyes. I get a lot of compliments on my badunkadunk. She likes my booty, so I get a lot of good job, champs. Grumpier in the morning. Well, hmm. I mean, Maria's very, very go-getter unless she doesn't feel like she got enough sleep, and then I just kind of head down and keep on, just making her breakfast, try to make her smile and happy. But I think we're both pretty decent in the morning. Who wears the pants in the relationship? Well, I very seldom have seen her in a skirt. So, I mean, I think we respect each other very, very well. But there's certain things that she takes care of, certain things that I take care of. But yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. Let's go with that. Spend some time with Tulip, obviously. It all depends on the day. If it's a really, really nice day, we don't have anything to do. We do a lot of walking, hiking, going out to parks, and hanging out in that respect. And we like going to movies, we like going out to dinner, but probably one of our favorite things is just sitting on the couch, curling up, and watching something. My biggest pet peeve of Maria's. She does have a tendency, and I know this is going to come back and bite me because I do the same thing on occasion, not nearly as often. But she'll make something, and then the pots or the dishes stay there, or like I'll just have cleaned the kitchen, and then I'll get home and there's, like, hey, I made soup, but there's shit everywhere. Kind of bugs me. Her biggest pet peeve of mine. She does like things very orderly. She has that slight case of OCD when it comes to keeping things neat and tidy. So I occasionally will have some things out of that focus, I would say. The thing that Maria likes most about me, honestly, I think it probably humor. I love making her laugh, and she definitely likes laughing. But I think that she sees past all that, and she sees past all that, and I think it's very much she knows that I will always have her back. When did I know that I wanted to marry her or ask her to marry me? Probably when she told me that I wanted to ask her to marry me. That I should give that serious consideration. No, I mean I've known for much longer than she probably even realized, but it takes me a little bit longer to do certain things than most people in that regard. So I've known for a very long time because one of the biggest things that I was kind of raised with was when you know, you know. And I knew pretty daggone early on, but it was just getting to that next step. Most embarrassing moment as a couple.
Does that even exist?
Hmm.
Or like if you were out somewhere at IKEA or, some public place and something happened where the two of you were together. Something like that. I don't know. This could be
Gosh.
a bomb question.
I got nothing.
Okay.
One of the best meals we ever had together. Well, we've gotten to do some fine dining and go to like Jeff Ruby's restaurants and things like that. But honestly, probably one of my favorite meals together would probably be when we were in Italy and we were having our last cappuccino and our last Nutella croissant together. That was just a really nice morning that we got to spend in Rome, and I think about that one often. One thing she can't live without. Me.
Besides you. Like curling iron or I don't know.
Yes,
phone.
She is very much a fan of her curling iron. I mean, crackers.
Okay.
I mean, she loves oyster crackers by the boxes. Loves her oyster crackers.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
The last thing we argued about. I think it was probably the wedding, and I think it was kind of a mutual apology. That's one thing that I think that we're pretty good about is if we do have some sort of an issue and tempers get raised, and I think we're better about it now that we don't split ways. We actually sit down and talk about it. So I want to kind of say that was a coin toss. I think we both kind of we both screwed up on that one.
Okay.
Best trip or vacation? Well, we got to go to Italy and Greece and Turkey on a cruise ship. That was pretty awesome. I mean, that was amazing for a lot of different reasons, just because we got to go see all sorts of historical or cool or beautiful or, and make a lot of memories. But one of my favorite things was the first time we went camping together at Whispering Beard. That's one of the times I think I really knew that she could kind of hang. That was something that I really wanted to, spend some time with her, because she toughed it out on a really, really hot, nasty, thick, humid weekend. And we had a great time, just laying in the grass and listening to music and hanging out. Who's more likely to cry on the wedding day? I'm going to say Maria's probably going to tear up first, which could very well make me tear up, but I would say the initial waterworks will come from my bride-to-be. She could throw away one thing from my wardrobe. Probably my boots, like my work boots. Those things and Maria are like oil and water. She
Those
can't.
boots?
No, my actual like construction
Say
boots
this,
with the steel
please.
toe, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
have like salt dried on the side of them, and they smell like feet. Go figure. But yeah, she can't stand those.
So what is Maria more likely to find funny? A Will Ferrell movie, puppy videos on YouTube, or you accidentally tripping over yourself?
What's she gonna find more funny? Me tripping over myself. Hands down, without a doubt. I mean, she loves puppy videos, but that's more of an kind of moment. Will Ferrell, she enjoys well enough, but me taking a dive, you bet, that's the winner. In a completely separate room from you and Bill because you were sleeping, or you were getting ready to go to bed, and this was at your place down in OTR after a night of good, friendly fun and,
Clean,
and having
fun.
some cocktails and then your couch. Most surprising thing we've learned about our relationship together. patience.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the things I've always had a hard time with, where I'll kind of, if it's not going, then, you know, but when you have what we have, you learn to just relax and think it through. Excites me the most about being married to her. I get to be married to her. You know, I grew up in a lot of different lights with, and being your stepfather too. But I had a lot of very strong relationship type of, you know, examples in my family, you know, and I always kind of think about my grandma, grandpa, and all throughout them being together in their whole lives, and you do think about that point when you're old and gray, and who do you want to have as your person sit next to you? So I look forward to that. I look forward to from here to there. With Maria, uh, I believe our first kiss was in her parents' driveway in my car after one of our dates. Real classy stuff. Real classy stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was at your house. Now that I think about it, it was at your house. We need to redo that one.
Should we?